Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2018 Austrian Open Darts Championship here in Graz. This is match number 3. Time to meet our players. Introducing to you first, from Meulenkamp, Germany, world rank number 97, it's Gabriel Clemens!
Das wird ein harter Weg. Ich hier und Ausgang wette.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, world ranked number 48, from Houston in the Netherlands, it's the bomb, Ron Meulenkamp.
Third match of the day here in Graz, day 1 of the Austrian Darts Open, and it features the German Gabriel Clemens, a man in great form, having secured his tour card earlier this year via European Q School, up against a man with a terrific sequence of results on the European Tour of late. In his last 2 European Tour events for which he has qualified, Ron the Bomb Meulenkamp has made a semi-final and a quarter-final. His run to the last 8 in Leverkusen last month featured wins over the world youth champion Dimitri Vandenberg, Daryl Gurney and Justin Pipe. His eventual defeat by Richard North was a fairly disappointing low-scoring encounter, but it was just another indication of what a very dangerous opponent he can be. Talks about John Henderson being the sort of player you want to avoid in the first round. I think you could say the same for either of these two, but in particular, Paul, I think it really does apply for Meulenkamp.
Yeah, absolutely right. He seems to feel very much at home on the European Tour stage. When he gets up there, he looks very relaxed. And someone who I like to call these days the artist that we now know as Ron Meulenkamp, because he looks about half the size to what he used to. But he's changed everything about his life, not just his darts. And it's working. And we're in the infancy of knowing about Gabriel Clemens, but we know that he's rather dangerous.
First leg, Ron to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Clemens has certainly acclimatised well to life as a tour card holder. Qualified for the UK Open. Recent quarter-finalist in Milton Keynes, beat Chris Quantock and John Henderson, among others, before a 6-2 defeat by Chris Dobie, who I believe went on to reach the final that weekend as well.
That is correct.
And so far this year, he's earned almost £12,000. I mean, that's a significant cushion for him at this relatively early stage of the season. He's guaranteed another £1,000 here as well, whatever happens. And I think that will settle him down even further. That'll settle Ron Meulenkamp down. That's an 80 to get himself involved here in the first leg.
Well, one of the things that stood out in those 2 European Tour events where
100.
Ron had a bit of a run, the amount of 180s that he hit, especially in Leverkusen, he was definitely near the top of the 180 list that weekend, because he just seemed like he was hitting a bucket load of them.
Well, he hit 7 against Gurney alone in that match against Superchin. His average against Justin Pipe was nearly 102. 6 from 9 on his doubles in that match as well. He was finishing really well.
134 on your 160.
I think arguably his worst performance, I mean, apart from his defeat, was the match against Vandenberg. But again, that was all about just coming through. And I think once he got through that first hurdle, tough assignment for the opening round. I think he just drew a lot of encouragement from that. Didn't really do himself justice in that quarter-final with North. I don't think North did either, to be honest. But it was North who came through. North winning the last leg with 25 darts, by the way. It was that sort of match, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you really don't want to have it recounted to you. You should win that. But right now, Ron should win this leg at double 12. Does so. Nice kill at 75. And we mentioned about the changes that Ron has made. I've commentated on him a few times in the last couple of years. And he actually did really well here 2 years ago in the Austrian Open. It was one of the first tournaments that really announced his new coming. He's lost a lot of weight since then. He did what Max Hopp did. Looked in the mirror and said, you know what, if I want to be a professional darts player for the next 10 to 20 years, I've got to do something about this. So he's done something about it. He looks tremendous, looks confident. And then he changed his grip, he changed his stance, and just went to work. Did all the practice required, and the product that he's got right now is very, very good. It's going to cause problems for Clemens today.
100.
Clemens, the big cuddly German. He announced himself in the BDO a couple of years ago by having a big run in one of their big events. So he's announced himself to the crowd with a 180 right there. And I think the confidence that Clemens got from having a run in a big BDO event and having his debut in
90.
Sindelfingen a couple of years ago, he just got a taste for it. And since then, he's become a totally different animal. And when you win your tour card at a very tough European Q school, you announce yourself to the world and say, you know what, I'm here to play. And he has this year.
Yeah, Clemens winning his tour card on the final day of European
94.
Q school. Titus Karnik was another of the automatic winners, Mario Robber as well, and Jeffrey de Zwaan, double 6 there for Clemens, but
On you requires 71.
outside the wire, and Meulenkamp here with the chance to open up a 2-0 lead here.
That was 75 in the last leg. This time it will be double top to steal, and that's what he does. Give him an opportunity and he'll take it. He's playing very well today, yet again, Ron Meulenkamp.
Yeah, talked about his finishing against Justin Pipe in Leverkusen, and his finishing so far, all right, only 2 legs in, but he just looks to be exuding a bit of confidence here, doesn't he, Ron Meulenkamp? Clemens hasn't really got going yet, but he can't afford to start sluggishly here. First to 6, 2-0 down already.
You know, there's a bit of a culture change going on in Dutch darts.
60.
Look at Barneveld, who's played sensationally well the last couple of nights in Rotterdam. What an atmosphere that was, by the way. And he's spending a lot of time in the gym just trying to squeeze the lemon for all it's got. That's one of my favourite little sayings, because that's what Ron has done. And there are a lot more Dutch dart players these days
59.
looking at doing more physical activity, going to the gym, getting outside, walking, running. And it's helping their arrows. It's helping the likes of Danny Noppert.
180.
Clemens needs to capitalise on those 180s, but Meulenkamp is up to the task.
That one just pitching low, and it's awkward, but he's found room for another one there. That was a really well found third dart. Clemens unable to establish a significant lead, although it's just up Sun. Okay, he's down to a finish first on the Meulenkamp throw. But a big visit here from the bomb to get him back into contention.
And that first start from Meulenkamp is probably the only weakness he has. He has that little bit of a jerk sometimes. If he could eliminate that, it'd be even better.
Left himself a bogey number as well, Meulenkamp. Maybe just not thinking there.
Very uncharacteristic of a Dutch dart player to miscount. You don't see that very often.
Well, he went, I mean, yeah, the risk was with going for treble 18, but
2 treble 19s will leave a double. You take one now.
56. Gabriel requires 71.
well, if Clemens doesn't win this leg, he'll be wondering if he ever will. Double 16. And Meulenkamp is given yet another opportunity, and Clemens is not being clinical enough here. And Meulenkamp, given the way he's played so far, may well fancy his chances of digging himself out of a hole here. 91 away. Well, he won't dig himself out just yet.
He'd have fancied that if he'd have got that 51. He's hit 12s and tops at the top of the board previously in the match, but 32 for Clemens.
Ooh, anxious times here for Gabriel Clemens. Yep.
Getting short in the third leg.
Well, that'll do. Wasn't convincing, but it's a leg on the board.
Full flag, Gabriel to throw first.
And
It's
it
a
was a
great
break.
throw as well. Qualifying for these guys was, they both came through the same tournament. European qualifying, because obviously the host nation is Austria this week.
66.
Meulenkamp came through Florian Hempel, 6'2", Mats Guys, 6'4", and Mario Robber, 6'3". Winner of this one consequently gets Daryl Gurney, who's had quite a successful time in Rotterdam the last couple of nights. But Clemens, he had Ricardo Petresco, 6'4", in his first round. Jerry Hendricks, dangerous Jerry Hendricks, 6'2". Took out the young Nico Bloom, 6'4", and then Dragutin Horvat, 6'5". So got edgy at the end there, but he did enough to get through.
Crowd has enjoyed that moment, but they've just returned to the calm and hush of before, just to give these players a chance to get themselves going once again. Another significant first for Clemens, by the way, was that he actually won a European Tour match in Leverkusen. That was his first ever win on the European Tour. He beat Thomas Junghans in the first round in Leverkusen. We haven't seen him on the European Tour since. He then lost to Mervyn King 6-2 in round 2 of the European Darts Open. But he'd had a string of first round defeats. Made his European Tour debut in Sindelfingen in 2016. Lost to Johnny Clayton there. That was only his, prior to that, that was only his third European Tour qualifying campaign, so it didn't take him long to get involved. And then he returned to Sindelfingen in May of last year as well, where he lost to Joe Mernon in round 1, but then at the third time of asking beat Junghans in Leverkusen.
It was on.
It was
that
on.
170. This 160 is definitely on. He's got 3 darts for it. Needs all 3. That's a really, really good first dart, you know. That's a really good second dart.
And the third is not bad either. Really enjoyed that run, Meulenkamp. It's a break back, and not only that, it will feel like a whole lot more, because it was a 160 checkout, and it's just got him back on track, and you just can see, Paul, it really means a lot to him. That's, as far as he's concerned, that's a big, big moment.
When you've been playing for 5 minutes or 500 years, shots like that still make you smile. We saw 170 from Gary Anderson in Rotterdam, and he's still one of those old school advocates of not celebrating much. But even when he hits 170s, he gets a big smile and has a bit of a celebration.
100.
Those shots can give you so much confidence.
Yeah. 3 legs on the board. He's only missed 1 dart at a double so far. And all in all,
77.
Meulenkamp is in a very, very good place here. And Clemens has not started well in this leg either. That said, Meulenkamp opening with a ton. Let's see what he can do here.
140.
Just looks in really good nick, doesn't he, Ron Meulenkamp? Sometimes he has that little jittery dart, but the one thing that impresses me the most about Ron is there's a lot of rhythm and routine about what he does. The amount of times he prods the dart towards the board. There's so much consistency about the throw.
100.
And we don't have too many lefties regularly on the European Tour. We've got Wade later on, who's had a bit of an injury scare, let's say.
Yeah, more on that later. Let's just see if Meulenkamp can take out this 161. Wade has had a terrific time of it as far as qualifying for Euro Tour events this year is concerned. He's really got his head down and got over the disappointments of the Premier League and
101.
losing early on in the World Championship as well. He's got his World Series place as well as a reward, but maybe further reward to come this weekend. 2 semi-finals so far this year for James
60.
Wade in Europe.
Ron, you require 60.
And he could well go far again.
What will Ron do on tops this time? Like you said, Robbie's only missed 1 shot at a double so far. And that's still the case. And that second dart, the one for the double, was just power.
Game on.
I'm not sure if he wanted to go central, but because he did, there was so much power behind that dart, it just bypassed that single 20
100.
and went straight in the middle of tops. Very impressive.
Very, very good indeed. There we see, just the one dart missed at a double so far. He has 4 legs on the board. Clemens has had his opportunities. Many of those 5 misses, though, were in the same visit, or the same leg, shall we say.
And of course, the one miss that Ron Meulenkamp had, he hit the double the very next dart.
135.
So, as far as visits are concerned, he's 100%.
Yeah. Very neat and tidy figures there for Ron. 1 under par, as Rod Harrington would say.
That's exactly 1 under par, because 15 darts and better is where you want to be. That's very good stuff from Ron Meulenkamp.
134.
Pressure's on Meulenkamp to get a max here. He's not going to do that, so Clemens will have 6 darts from 132. I'm not sure he'll go the bullseye route here. He doesn't have to. He's hit 16, so that leaves 116. It's a good setup though. That'll do.
Yeah, left himself double 18 if he gets the chance. Well, he will return with Meulenkamp on 260, but Meulenkamp can just turn the screw a little bit here. Meulenkamp is looking at a Shanghai on 20s. Clemens is looking at double 18, and he's now looking at a potentially awkward double 9.
Hang about.
That just sums up Clemens' day so far, and I would not be at all surprised if Ron Meulenkamp were to take this out.
Well, he'll fancy it because he's been hitting tops for fun. If he can get this 60, I think he might take this out.
He's got it. He has got it. 4 out of 5 so far. Can he make it 5 out of 6? No, he can't.
He had to move. He wasn't in his natural position for tops. It was shielded, so he had to go around it. Couldn't get it, so Clemens, 2 darts left for double 9.
Oh, and he's come inside as well. He doesn't like that one bit. He squared it off by leaving himself double 4. But Meulenkamp this time with 3 darts in hand at tops. And he makes no mistake once again. It's still a very, very, very efficient performance with the doubles for Ron Meulenkamp. 5 from 7. And he's 1 leg away.
Yeah, good performance from Ron.
I mean, Daryl Gurney, he'll be, if he's not aware now, if Meulenkamp does come through this, he'll be aware very soon of who his opponent will be tomorrow, and he will not be
100.
looking forward to that one. Gurney, shall we say, post-Premier League, hasn't sometimes acclimatised well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the Premier League guys do fit into this week, because they've had
It's an awkward journey from Rotterdam, and they've had 2 nights in Rotterdam as well.
Tough week. You know, the pressure of the Premier League is heightening every week for the likes of Peter Wright and Daryl Gurney.
60.
He'll be here tomorrow. And of course, after playing 2 monumental nights in Rotterdam, they now have to come here to play monumental stuff in Graz.
140.
Well, the point being that Gurney lost to Meulenkamp in his opening match in Leverkusen as well, 6-4. So there's very recent history between the two on a post-Premier League night.
And Daryl's one of those guys who does remember encounters, so he will remember that. Wasn't that long ago. He wouldn't mind a bit of revenge. But Meulenkamp's still got to get over the line here. That's good darts from Clemens, leaving 132 again. This time I feel he might not go for the bull again, because the last time he did, he left 36, then double 9 and missed everything.
134.
Well, because Ron is on a finish, he might have to go bull now. 57 for bull.
Not to be.
64. On your report, 148.
What a way this would be to finish off the job at hand. It's been a very good performance from the Dutchman.
Well, he's already taken out 160. Can he take out the 148? No, he can't. But the way Clemens has been finishing so far, he doesn't fill you with a great deal of confidence here. He's looking at 68, so should get 1 dart at a double, and it's at double 16, and well, no problem there.
Very good indeed. You see that a little bit more these days for the guys who like double 16. Love a treble 12. double 16 for 68, because if you go from the the treble 12 south of that, the double 16 is almost
59.
exactly south of it. So you just got to keep your line. It's the most minor of adjustments to the left. Definitely worse for Clemens there. Ron is not bothered about what has just happened because he wants another 180.
140.
Well, that just indicates that Clemens is starting well by and large
96.
in legs, but isn't able to back it up. Whereas Meulenkamp has been a steadier influence, shall we say, on this match.
Well, those statistics say to me that Ron's fourth visit and his doubles have been good. But
Clemens
with Clemens,
has been
as
dragged down,
soon as he's hit his first 3 darts, then he starts to make a couple of mistakes, and that is exactly what's happened, especially on his doubling.
99.
Well, he averaged over 100 against Justin Pipe in Leverkusen. I don't think he'll average over 100 here, but
57.
he won't really care about that too much.
He doesn't want to let Gabriel Clemens get another foot up on the ladder. Wants to get rid of this game in this leg.
Yeah, because all of a sudden 5-1 becomes
140.
5-3, and then the tension may start to creep in.
Trust me, I know all about that. It happened last week.
Of course it did. Against Van der Pas.
60. Gabriel 107.
61st for Clemens.
You'll get him one day, Paul.
I will. Mark my words. Double 18 for Clemens. That's very good indeed. And it is 5-3.
I play Ron to throw first.
This is the leg
Game on.
where Ron has the darts. You'd love a good start here, just to give yourself a little breather. But a good start
55.
hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's curious, isn't it? Clemens just seems to have found something. A 107 finish will do him the world of good as well. 5-1 becomes 5-3, and suddenly there's a degree of
58.
respectability about the scoreline, which is up on the big screen right in front of him. Every time he goes to the back of the stage, you'll see that, and he'll, you know, psychologically, it's a big thing when you suddenly see a few more numbers on your side of the board.
60.
And sometimes you do that just to save a little bit of pride and reputation. Get a bit closer to him, one leg by one leg. And then all he wants is one opportunity, really, at the end.
Clemens, though, needs to find another break here, and so far hasn't really put in the numbers to suggest that he will. And Meulenkamp may be taking a lot of encouragement from this with a 180. That will do very nicely indeed.
Perfect timing from the bomb.
Good response, yeah.
Clemens knows he's got to break twice.
99.
Looking decidedly unlikely now as Ron Meulenkamp opens up a 94-point lead. Plus these.
60.
Okay. Well, how many darts will he have to play with here, Ron Meulenkamp? It may be
100.
6.
146.
It is 6, and he's looking at the 19s because 6 of them will leave double 16. Just wants to set it up now. Well, he's 108. He may stay at the 19s again.
57.
He'll come back for 89.
closing in then, inching closer. Ron Meulenkamp here to another meeting on the Euro Tour this year with Daryl Gurney, the number 4 seed this weekend. 89 points away from a 6-3 win. 70 away. Bullseye.
64.
Not to be. Clemens has taken out 107 in the last leg.
Well, more often than not, and he will be back. Just negated everything I was about to say. I was going to say more often than not you'd get another opportunity, but Ron Meulenkamp has another opportunity at 9 and double 8 to win 6-3.
Well, there's the 9. And there is the double 8. And once again, Ron Meulenkamp, despite Clemens clawing 2 legs back there late on, Meulenkamp doing plenty to suggest that he could be a very, very interesting player to watch this weekend, a very live candidate indeed as far as another potential upset, maybe another qualifier going all the way on the European Tour. He's threatened on 2 occasions of note, a quarter-final at the end of last year and a semi-final as well, or I should say a quarter-final earlier this year and a semi-final late last year as well. And who knows, on this evidence we may see a lot more of him this weekend as well.
I said all good. He sort of turns your nose up a little bit. What, you weren't happy how you played, or, I mean, the result obviously is terrific, but your game, no?
The result is the main important thing, but I know I can do better, but I hope I can show it next game.
Well, that's the beauty of that, because tomorrow's a new day. Do you do anything different tomorrow to what you've done today?
Yeah, practice a bit more specific on the trebles and doubles, because I knew it was there, but it wasn't there, and I will show it tomorrow.
You'll show us tomorrow, and we'll look forward to it. All the very best. Ladies and gentlemen, Meulenkamp! Folks, we'll be back very, very shortly with Dietmar Berger and Wayne Jones.